what's up, MD? This is IFBB Pro Chris Tuttle, Universal Athlete, down here at Bed Francis Gym. We're a little over 2 weeks out from New York Pro, my pro debut. This is 212. As a lot of you guys know, I'll be probably the tallest 212 there is, 5'9". Going to squeeze down and make weight. Weighing in about 220 this morning. And take you through a chest workout today. So I started out my chest day today with a slight incline dumbbell press. It's been something that I've normally been starting with since my pec injury about almost 2 full years ago. Partially tore my pec. I'm not going to make excuses, but that's what I've had to deal with since actually before I turned pro into my pro debut coming up in New York Pro. I've had to improvise a lot, get rid of momentum, use more squeeze and feel. And obviously, sometimes each chest workout will vary depending on what weight I use. 2 weeks out, pretty tired, pretty fatigued, so it went a little bit easier this time around. But the slight incline seems to not put as much pressure on that part of the pec that's injured. I'm still able to get a good contraction evenly in both pecs. There's still some scar tissue in there, which I should probably continuously get massages to keep it functional. But do what I can, work with what I got, and that's usually kind of the first exercise I start with, some type of slight incline movement.
Good. Come on, push. Come on, let's push. Good. Come on. Right, ready? Yep, let's go. Come on. Good. Come on. Up. Good. Come on, come on, 2 more. Oh, that's it.
Since we're down at Bev's, I got the liberty to use some different equipment. I used the Incline as a second exercise, the plate-loaded. It's almost like it might be hammer strength, but it's a plate-loaded incline press. And same thing again, the incline movements I always tend to do first because it doesn't bother the area that injured the pec. And I always will work from the incline down. Great feel. Again, I still have to always worry about loading the pec too much pressure on the bottom. I can't really explode, believe it or not. It may seem like I'm exploding off the bottom, but I kind of contracting forcefully, keeping in mind to how my pec is feeling. But that was a good exercise. I tend to stay in the reps of above 10 to 15, sometimes more. Really focusing on the squeeze and the feel and concentrating the negatives. I have my spotters kind of help me on the bottom, on the assistance in the first rep or two. But luckily, these machines, you can adjust the pins so the bar starts out a few inches above my chest. The lower the bar gets off to my chest, the more, obviously stretching the pec, the increase of risk of injury to the area. So I tend to kind of do what people call half reps or whatever you call cheating. But again, I do what I can do to stimulate the pecs as best I can with what I got.
I need it high. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll give you guys a little background for those of you guys who don't know me. I'm a registered dietitian. I have a master's in nutrition. I'm also a professional bodybuilder. I earned my IFBB Pro card at 2013 Nationals as a light heavyweight. I'm also, a little weird fun fact, I'm also a professional motocross racer. I earned my AMA Pro card coincidentally on my 21st birthday, May 23rd, 2004. I did 2 professional races and decided that it can no longer live in my parents' basement, spending $35,000 a year on racing, and just be one of those herbs that lives the life, stays single, and lives on a couch in the basement so I can afford racing. So I ended up going to school and started bodybuilding right off the rip. My first show was 2005 as a middleweight. I got crushed. But that's a fun little background about myself. I've always been very competitive in individual sports. Motocross was probably one of the best times of my life. And obviously, it comes with a lot of broken injuries, but the difference between injuries in motocross and bodybuilding is all the bones I've ever broken are all fine today. All the injuries I've ever had lifting with soft tissue damage are still with me today. So that's a little brief background about myself. I have my own business. I run a weight loss. I help contest preparation. I work at a hospital as a clinical dietitian. I'm a universal athlete. Great guys, great company to be with. I'm very excited. I started with them in August 2014. It's been really great. My pro debut's coming up, New York Pro 212s. And, I'm a tall guy. Hopefully can bring some symmetry, a little more classic look of bodybuilding back to the stage, and we'll see how things kind of pan out. But overall, a lot of people will tell me, what, why did you wait, or why don't you do this or do that? You know what? Bodybuilding, I love. Whether or not I was a professional, whether or not I was sponsored, whether or not any of this was occurring in my life, I'd still be competing because, I think a lot of us end up losing sight of why we do this to begin with, and they end up doing it more for social fame or look at me. But you know what? We all started doing this because we liked the way it looked, liked the way it felt, the lifestyle, and that's one thing what carries me through this. And, the pressure doesn't really get to me, what people say or do that. So I'm just having a blast. I'm looking forward to getting on stage. My boy Guy, it's going to be a fun experience, and I'm excited. A little over 2 weeks. For my last exercise, which actually I don't normally ever do flies last. Sometimes I'll do them second or superset them with a flat movement. So I'll pre-exhaust the cables with a flat movement. But today I decided to do everything separate. So we did the cable flies. I like to adjust them kind of shoulder width, shoulder level, and I like to pull into the front, hit more of like the mid to lower pec area, since it's an area I really can't focus on with too heavy a load in any particular movement. And then usually halfway through second, third, or fourth set, I'll drop set to push-ups and really squeeze the pec, as in I'm bringing my elbows together. I don't really push through my hands. I try to mimic like hugging a tree when I do the push-up, and squeeze the chest as you would if you're backstage trying to pump up before going out.
You're around so much here. Come on, let's go. Come on. Hey. Yep, let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on.
So in closing, I just want to, a lot of people like to think that, this is individual sport, but you know what? There's no individual sport that really exists. And I just want to thank a few people, thanking Bev and Steve for letting me come down here, shoot a video. Thanks, MD. You guys have always been great, giving me some footage in the spotlight and some in the trenches stuff. It's always been a blast coming down here. I want to thank Universal for supporting me. It's been a blast. You guys got to check out the Tuttle Diaries. It's a little series about my life, a little bit of gun shooting, a little bit of hardcore nutrition, a lot of fun stuff. I want to thank my girlfriend Alexia, Evan Sinapane, and a lot of my friends for supporting me, keeping me on a even keel, because the camaraderie of the group you hang with is really your strength. We can say that we do everything ourselves, but we don't do everything ourselves. And I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by the people that I am.